Space about to blow.
Hi guys, and welcome to episode 23 of West End Talks. I might be able to guess with a big pink background what musical we're touching on tonight, but we're here tonight with Alex Tranter. Now you'll recognise him from being in the ensemble and first cover Romeo and Juliet. He was also in White Christmas, and he was the assistant choreographer, I can never say that word, in Eugenius. And a lot more, but we'll cover all that as the night goes on. But welcome, Alex. Hi.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
No, the privilege is ours. Thank you for joining us. So we'll get the ball rolling because we have a lot. I think I said to you before we started tonight that you're the quickest we've ever got questions in for. Literally within less than 24 hours, we had all the questions in. It was great. Not all of them. We got some of them.
That's our and Juliet fans. They love it.
It's the Alex fans. So we'll get started the same way. I'm sure all West End Top fans will know. Just asking, what got you into performing?
So my mum and dad are not theatrical. They like theatre. They go to it quite a lot. And my grandparents are the same, and they all used to go to tap lessons at sort of when I was born. So I won't out their age, but so it wasn't they were kids and they started to do tap lessons. And then there was a show called Hot Shoe Shuffle that was put on TV. It has Adam Garcia in it, and it's an incredible tap show. You can YouTube bits, and it's unbelievable. And it was on like a Boxing Day on BBC Two. My grandma recorded it on video back then, and then they used to just play it to us and the story. But apparently I used to just try and copy it. When my older sister was going to dance classes, but I used to watch the video and copy them. They had these blocks and they jumped down. It's quite incredible. And so my parents went, we've got to send him to tap lessons. So I did that, and then I never thought I was going to perform. It was just something I did on the side. I liked football. I was never going to be a footballer, but I definitely split my time up because I like to do everything. And then my school was so supportive of it, and it's just slowly became, I realised it's all I wanted to do. There was nothing else that I wanted to do, but it was that one show. And then I saw Footloose in the West End with Derek Huff and my boy Ivan de Freitas. And it was just unbelievable. And I think then I went, maybe this is something I want to do for my life.
Maybe it is something.
Yeah. So yeah, and then that's kind of, there was no turning back at that point. Yeah.
I love that question because you get so many different answers. I always thought, most people it's just they're born into it, their families are doing, but 9 times out of 10 it's not. It's great to listen to obviously you, it was Adam Garcia. It helped. Wasn't it for that show, then you might not have been here today.
No, and if my grandma didn't just record that show on a whim, I wouldn't have watched it. I might not be doing it. It's things like that, that inspires a young child, which hopefully what we do as actors, which is nice to kind of, someone may feel the same after watching me on something. You never know. So.
Yeah,
nice.
I can quite believe that. Definitely quite believe that. So what was your first performance?
The first performance that I kind of remember is my school used to put on big musicals. We used to have like an orchestra, and we were lucky that we were linked with a very wealthy school that had their own theatre with an orchestra pit, flying rigs, and they let us use that theatre to put on our shows. And we did 42nd Street. I think I was 13 or 14. I was in year 9, and I just joined that, and I think I was kind of the dancer of the male dancer of the show, because I could tap. And then we did that once a year. So that was my first sort of time where I really remember it being like a big deal in my life.
Well, that's 42nd Street in school doesn't happen very often.
No, it was
It's not a common school musical.
exactly. It's an odd choice, but I loved it. And it was my tap love that's carried me on into now. So I was very lucky.
No, definitely. So now we West End Talks holds no responsibility on the next set of questions.
Well, neither do I for my answers. So
unfortunately, you do, because your answers, these are not our questions. These are all questions from fans of either the shows that you've been in or of Alex Tranter. So the first question is from Rachel, and she asks, how did Juliet come about?
How did it come about? So there were workshops before I got involved. So I think our writer, David West Reed, who is, you may know him from the Netflix series Schitt's Creek. He's one of the writers on that. A very, very funny person. I think he got approached by Max, the writer of all the songs, his team, and said, look, we're thinking about putting on a show with Max's catalogue. What can you do with it? And he's told me and the cast that he was in a minor concussion at the time. And so he was lying down in a dark room because he had to for the concussion. And he came up with this idea of what would happen if Juliet didn't kill herself and carried on with her life. And so he kind of just ran with that, pitched it to Max's team. From my understanding, that's when the show kind of really got its kind of idea. Then there were two workshops, a workshop in LA, I think, then a workshop in London. Then it was kind of the audition for the Max Martin musical, which everyone was kind of talking about. We didn't know what it was. I didn't know who Max Martin was. I Googled it. When I got the audition through, I Googled who he was. And I went, whoa, he's written some of my favourite songs ever. It was a dance call for me. We did a dance to Blow, which, if you know the show, is a big dance number. And then we just slowly went through the process, but they were so secretive, not really telling us anything about it. We got sent some sides of the script, but very minimal. And you weren't really told what happened before or happened after. It was just read what's on the page. And Luke, our director, would then slowly put his sort of sprinkle on you to see whether he could work with you and you could take on board different visions, because the show still didn't have the finished article. So I think he wanted to find people that were willing to try different things all the time. And then I got the job. I didn't know where it was running, what theatre. I got told it was a workshop in like March 2019 with an out of town run, with a town run. And that was it. And they said, this is the name, and Juliet. And that was kind of to entice you. But I think a lot of us just went, it feels something new and exciting that you want to get involved in. And I did the workshop, what tied into this whole run. And at the end of it, we all knew this is something special. And again, it's so different. When we got to rehearsals for Manchester and London, Luke said to us on day one, there's bits that you're going to have loved in the workshop that are gone. And I need you to support me and support us as a team to go, it's for the good of the show. And there's some moments that I thought were beautiful that to this day are still my favourite moments to have watched that have never been on stage. And I agree with the vision and what we created. I went, no, I understand why it's gone. And we created this sort of spectacular show. I think it's all your senses are attacked whilst you're watching it, visually, audibly, everything. I just think it's an incredible show. I'm so lucky to be in it. I know everyone says that, but I truly feel that to have originated the show from a very early stage. Not many people get to do that in their whole career. So it's a very long-winded answer, but I felt one that needed to be said.
No, that was a great answer. That gave us some insight into the beginning of Juliet. And obviously, it's actually a special weekend for you guys because a year ago tomorrow would have been your first public performance.
Oh, at West End Live.
West End Live, 2019, yes.
That was a scary day. Well, because we didn't know what people would have thought of us. And we were just
I was there.
Oh, you watched it?
I was there. And I wasn't sure. I thought, and Juliet, really? Is this just another jukebox musical? Is this?
Yeah.
But after seeing it, like, even when you had no costumes, you literally just had t-shirts. It was just Juliet t-shirts, and there was no costumes. There was no set. Obviously, there was no set in West End Live, but there's no costumes or props or anything. It was just the poster with Miriam's face on it at the back, and that was it. And it was okay, right? And then you come out, and it was It's My Life, and Miriam sung Roar. All the girls sung Roar. Anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, right. And it really did entice you into wanting to see some more. But obviously, I didn't unfortunately see it then till London, because I don't live near Manchester, either from back up in Scotland or down here. It's not near Manchester. But as soon as it came to London, I was like, right, okay, Shaftesbury, let's go. Yeah. And wow, what a show! Like, honestly, what a show. We'll get into it slightly more as the night goes on, but definitely, it's been a whirlwind of a year, definitely.
Yeah.
Forgetting the coronavirus, forget this section of the year. The year of Juliet, sorry, it has been a fantastic year.
It's one that I know I'll remember. It will hold a special place in my heart, definitely. The whole process.
I can imagine, definitely. I'm not an actor, but I can imagine we starting with something brand new, whatever that may be, but in your case, obviously, the show. So Poppy, she goes back slightly further in your career.
Yeah.
And asks, what was it like working with Tommy Steele?
Oh, Tommy. Wow. So that's a long time ago now.
Yeah.
I actually was with my musical director of that show. He's a good friend of mine, Richard Morris. And we text Tommy, it was probably about 2-3 weeks ago. We were socially distancing, but we thought we'd text him a picture of us saying hello. And he sent a text going, in Tommy's tells stories that you don't understand. You're going, okay, right. We'll just this is a Tommy story. But anyway, give Alex a big thump of love. And that's kind of, my experience with Tommy was the most amazing time, because I was, how old was I? I was 22 when I joined Glenn Miller's Story, and Bill Deemer asked me to be his dance captain. I'd never been a dance captain on a show of that scale. I kind of just was blagging it, to be honest. I said, yes, of course, you say yes. Bill Deemer, someone who I've loved to have worked with, has asked me to do that. You say yes. And then you're not looking after Tommy, but you're on the road with Tommy. It's Tommy's show, Bill Kenwright's show, but you're one of the people that helps set it up every week on tour. So, and Tommy taught me a lot of getting the show, because venues are different every show, every theatre you go to every week. And he kind of taught me a lot of the moments that needed to be seen and the important aspects that he needed, because essentially they were coming to see Tommy.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was an arrogant thought of his. He was going, no, I need to give the audience what they've come to see. And so he taught me a lot of that. And then he would talk to me about Sammy Davis Jr., all the Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, the people he worked with. And I just sat there going, just soaking it all in. I'm working with Tommy that worked with them. And it was joyous. I did about a year and a half with Tommy. And I look back now, and it's probably my favourite experiences in theatre, that whole job. Everyone we worked with on it was a great team. 16-piece band on stage. That doesn't really happen anymore.
No.
It was a lovely show, and it felt like we were celebrating Tommy's career, which
because it's one of the last things he did on stage, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the Coliseum 2 summers ago was the last time he's performed in Glenn Miller.
Yeah.
So it felt something quite special to be on stage with him, a legend. Again,
I think legends thrown about quite often, but it's certainly not in this case. Tommy Steele definitely is a legend of theatre, film, you name it, music, just music. Because obviously he played the original had his name 2 seconds ago in Half a Sixpence. But obviously Charlie Stent went on to do in the West End.
And that was kind of when I was still working with Tommy, when Half Sixpence came into town. And so I remember going up to Tommy and I said, are you going to go and watch it? And he said, I really want to watch it, but I'm really nervous. I don't want anyone to know I'm there because it might throw off Charlie, because he's like, Tommy Stemp. Tommy Steele is in, and he goes, I don't want that. I want to watch it. And yeah, I think you probably said the kid nails it. But I remember showing him the trailer on my phone, and he was like, wow, this guy is brilliant. So I don't know. I never know whether he went to see it. I don't know, but I hope he did, because it was a great show.
I can tell you he did.
Oh, really?
I've heard from Charlie that he was there, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've heard from Charlie that he was there. So I don't remember when I can't tell you when it was, but he did.
Yeah.
Did go and see it. So that was great. So Noah asks, you've helped bring 2 boy band shows, musicals, to the stage.
Yeah.
We'll get to which 2 that is in a minute. I think you've maybe got more, but 2 that he's thinking about.
Yeah.
What was your favourite to do? Now, he's thinking, obviously, Our House with Madness.
Yeah.
We use boy band loosely with Madness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Closer to Heaven with Pet Shop Boys.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would say 2 completely different musicals.
They were, but I think what they both had was everyone pulling together because we needed it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Close to Heaven was at the Union Theatre. I'm so grateful. I'll keep shouting people out because I'm so grateful to every single person that's helped me, that they needed another dancer. And so Philip Joel put on Facebook and said he needed another dancer, a male dancer for the ensemble. And I just said, what is this? Let me know. I'm interested. And he said, look, the run is sold out. And we're not even in rehearsals. So I said, okay, well, that sounds something interesting. And I got offered the job. And then it was a real cult following for that show.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Our House, again, I think it was something that a lot of us were going, this could be a step up for us here. You know, Fabian as a choreographer was unbelievable to work with. His vision and the acting through movement, for me, is something I love to do. I think you don't dance for the sake of dancing. There's an actual motive behind it. And I met my best friends on that show, on Our House. We are all still the best friends to this day. So I would probably say Our House for that experience, to have met those people. But both, I can't pick. Performance-wise, they were so different. But the fans, when you had with Our House, when you had a good crowd, because we didn't sell particularly well, but when it was busy, like in Glasgow, it was just the most amazing performance. Whereas Close to Heaven, because they're so close to you, it was at the old Union, so they was really close.
Yeah, so it was really close.
They were electric, because they would come in as we were dancing, as if they'd walked into a club. So it was really like immersive in that start, and I'd never done anything like that before. And but you know, we met the Pet Shop Boys, which was, at that point I was going, this is crazy. I'm just an actor in musical theatre. I'm meeting these huge stars. So I mean, I would say Our House though. Our House is probably in my heart, just a little bit more.
Did Suggs come to a performance?
No, I don't think any of Madness came, but Mike Gibson, who played the original Joe Casey in the West End, who I think I'd been auditioning for him at the same time that he came to see the show. He came to our press night, and so that was something quite special. You know, the original Joe Casey's coming to watch and support us, and I think he tries to do that as much as he can, because it's such an important moment for him as well.
Because it was George Sampson that played your Joe Casey, wasn't it?
No, so
that,
George Sampson played, is it Reese, the bad guy?
He did, yes, he played the bad guy.
Jason Kayode played it, and he's in Mary Poppins right now, and I think he understudies Bert. So
he does, yes, he
so
does. Yes.
he played it for us, and it was something quite special watching him. It felt like
Yeah.
we'd seen a star be born with him. He's very, very talented, and I got to work with Samson and rip him apart every night. It's what we used to do, just take the mick out of him. But he's a good lad, good fun.
I know.
Yeah,
He's done a few musicals now.
yeah,
Talent certainly helped him.
yeah. So he's a
Helped
good
him.
boy.
But anyway, that's great. No, but you've done a few musicals now, but moving back to the most recent one.
Yeah.
Oliver wants to know if you could play any Shakespeare character, so not just Anne Juliet, we're talking here, in a play, who would it be and why?
It's difficult. I love Twelfth Night. That is probably my favourite Shakespeare play. But this is where you find out my knowledge on Shakespeare isn't particularly strong. So I couldn't tell you a character, but Twelfth Night from school was sort of my favourite one to be in, to learn about. I think I did play. We did Macbeth at school, and
That's the best one.
but I didn't play Macbeth. Now you can. What's his name?
I honestly don't know. I'm going to be a bad Scotsman here and say I don't know. Apart from Macbeth and the Three Witches, I don't know anyone.
I can't remember his name, but he haunts Macbeth. I know that because I came on as a ghost. I played that role, but I've played Romeo a few times, so I would say maybe that's the best role to play.
Yeah. That's in a musical, not in a play. Slightly different. Just as good. Don't get me wrong, as good.
I don't think the Royal Shakespeare Company, when auditioned for Romeo and Juliet, would take me singing "It's My Life." I think they'll say it's not suitable. It's
not really what we're looking for, Alex. Yeah. But thanks. We don't call us, we'll call you.
Yeah.
So Isla's looking for, do you have any advice for students just graduating?
Yeah.
She's just graduated this year.
Advice. This is when you learn the most. I think I learned more in my first 2 years of graduating than I did in my 3 years at college. And that's not putting down colleges at all, because you learn a lot. But you learn by working with more experienced people. But you can learn from less experienced people. And I've done that a lot of my career as well. But this is the time, just soak everything in. Whether in class, in an audition, or in a job. There's auditions where I used to, and I still do, but then more so because I think I was a little intimidated. I was nervous. Naturally, you are. And I look around, I'm like, look at that person there. Why didn't I do it like that? And rather than think, why didn't I? Maybe this audition's not for you, but I'm going to take on board what that person did and put it into my work ethic, my skill set. So I would say that's probably the best thing I've ever done, is just learn from people graduated 20 years before you to 2 years after you. You can still learn from them, and don't be too proud of that. Don't think I'm older, so why should I learn from a graduate? But there's times where I've gone, I wish I thought like that when I'd graduated, because it maybe would have sped my career up a little bit. You just don't know. So I think that's the best advice I can give from my experience.
That's good, and that's what we look for is from your experience. We're not looking for you to know everything about everything. It's from Alex's point of view that we're getting here. So what Lily actually asked a question, and we're getting quite a lot for. I think everybody's been asked this question so far. Different variations, obviously, depending on what musicals they're in. So she asks, if you had to be in lockdown with any character from Anne Juliet, who would you pick and why? And we're going for characters here, not who plays.
Character. I think it's hard. It's hard to know whether it's because of the actor, but I think Francois, because I think Francois is a hilarious character in our show. Luckily, Tim Mahendran's a very funny person as well. But maybe Francois, he can play the piano, so we can practice our harmonies.
It's almost a good thing, yes.
Yeah. I'd have someone to help me with self-tapes, because he can play the piano for me. Selfishly, that's what I'd need help with. Probably Francois. I think Francois, because he's a good soul and he's a funny person, which I like. You want to laugh in lockdown, don't you? You don't want too many serious conversations.
I mean, you still. I think I personally would pick Juliet because she's strong. She'll get you through anything.
True.
She makes you feel like that anyway. So that's because I always think about that question.
Or maybe the nurse in that vein that you're saying. The nurse would be a great person to be in lockdown with, because when you're feeling low, the nurse picks you up.
Then the nurse will still be working.
Yeah.
she's a key worker.
Yeah. Good shout.
So you're risking getting coronavirus,
Yeah.
No, that's going too deep into it, I think. But no, that's a good answer. Yeah, you need definitely need comedy, especially at the moment. Like we need comedy. Anything at all that's funny. So Sophia asks, do you have any pre-show rituals?
Pre-show rituals. I have the boring ones where I don't like to be. If I hear beginners call when I'm in the dressing room, for me, I'm late, and that's the thing that I like, because everyone goes, "You're the first one down to the stage," and I'm probably down there 7:20, because for me, I just like to get down there and just. Not that I focus or anything, because our show, we can just be joyous and you want to carry that off stage to the on stage feeling. But sometimes our dressing room's quite tight and all the boys are getting ready. We've got all the male ensemble in one room and it is tight. Everyone's trying to get their costumes. So I think I just get ready, go down, and then I have to anti-bac my hand and clean my hands because there's antibacterial gel on stage right, and I just do that every show. Go down there, squeeze it, and that was before the COVID.
That's nothing to do with COVID.
I know before COVID, but it was just something that it became that's in my head. I just have, if I don't do it, if I don't do it, I'm gonna have an awful show. But it's just what I did every show.
Yeah.
And then I would sit on our carousel horse and wait for everyone else to come down. Sometimes for 10 minutes, but that's just what I like to do and just kind of chill out. That's probably my biggest pre-show ritual. I anti-bac my hands. That's quite a boring one.
An interesting one, no? Interesting all the same. It's different. Certainly not one we've had before. More so at the moment because everybody's doing that at the moment and will be in the future. So actually your boring pre-show ritual has actually become a compulsory for everybody.
Look, I don't want to say I'm a trendsetter, but you said it.
Definitely is. It's become a trend. Nothing's become a trend. It's really a trend, but yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, you've said it anyway. So Freddie asks, what is your favourite song to perform in Juliet?
In Juliet, to perform. To be honest, it changes a lot of the time. I love "Show Me Love" when we're travelling to Paris, because there's actually quite a lot going on, and there's moments I'm off stage and there's a lot of the ensemble or the players, we call them, are running on stage with a sign. They run off, get another prop and come on. So the off stage, if you saw that, it's like its own choreography, which is good fun. But there's something about it makes me feel really stagey in that moment. That's the one I go, that's a real musical theatre number. There was a moment in rehearsals where I felt this is our one short day in Wicked. It felt like that sort of number. Yeah. It was like we've come to I don't really know Wicked very well, but that number, it felt like that. That's how I would compare it. But then you go, I love doing Problem and Can't For My Face, because that's you go hell for leather on that number. You just got to go
you
for
definitely
it.
do.
But then you've got the boy band Backstreet's Back, and you go, how can you not love that number? So each week it changes, but those are probably my three that it rotates the most.
Yeah, The three very good ones, I've got to say, yes. Backstreet by You, when the Bye Bye comes out, you're like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's for personal reasons. Arthur wants to know, do you have a favourite song in general and Juliet? So maybe one that you're not involved in.
So that's the way it is that Cassidy sings so well, but Kirsty sings it really well, our first cover, and we've actually had Jocasta do it as well, our second cover, and every time, so Cassidy nails it every show. We know this. We're still not over it, but you go, Cassidy singing. But when the first time Kirsty sung it, everyone in the wing was silent, just wanting to listen to it. And same with Jocasta. It's that moment where everyone goes, we get to watch someone incredible sing it. So that's part of my emotional reason of my friendship with those people. But that song is I think it comes at the perfect time in the show. I think the arrangement's beautiful, and I could listen to that all the time. So that's probably, and in the workshop when Cassidy sung it, I don't think I'd ever been in a rehearsal room with a moment like that before. And I just sat there with my jaw open, like, I'm working with some incredible people that are so talented. It's just, and I think that may be why it's a special moment for me and my favourite song, because it reminds me of that feeling.
Yeah. But you're one of the incredible ones, don't worry. You're included in that incredible lineup. There's not obviously there very rarely is a bad cast member in a show, but and especially more so in this one, there's no at all.
That's what we hope, and we're proud of that. Whoever you come to see, whether it's a swing, a first cover, or a second cover, or the first cast. I don't know the best, because the whole cast is the cast, but whether you see everyone that's on stage from that opening night, we like to think that you get not the same show, because it's going to be different, but the same quality, because we have incredible people on stage and off stage, no matter who it is. I think we're quite proud of that. But I think most shows are. The UK has incredible people, and incredible people that are not in shows as well. So you think if you've got that good a talent that are still auditioning for shows, imagine what we've got on stage. So I think we're the UK spoiled for choice.
Definitely. Without a doubt, definitely. And that's we're trying to show that off to the world, because we're on YouTube, so the world can watch you. You
should have told me that. I would have done my hair.
I wish I had. I need to get mine cut. Don't get me started on that one. So Charlie kind of covers a bit about you, and wants to know where your ideas for your TikToks come from.
It's my little sister. It's the quickest. I always thought I will never be the person that doesn't know how to use technology, and I will always be on top of it. The next social media platform, I'm on it. I didn't understand TikTok at all. I say my little sister, she's an adult in her own right, but she's younger than me, and she was like, you need to get on TikTok. So she, for a long time, I'd wake up in the morning and she sent me a load of ones going, you need to replicate this. So she's probably the biggest person that's done it. But I did one, it's my proudest moment of my acting career. I did
it's on TikTok.
Yeah. I did a Brooklyn Nine-Nine crossover with Juliet, doing I Want It That Way. It's apparently the first scene in Brooklyn Nine-Nine ever. And they've got people in a lineup, and
Have you never seen this?
I've seen the YouTube clip of it.
Oh, right.
And so
it's absolutely fantastic.
So I did it as what was auditioning for Juliet like, and I kind of did it like that. It's probably my greatest idea I would ever have, and probably still will be for the rest of my life. The greatest idea is my TikTok.
I'll need to check that one out then. I'm rubbish with TikTok. I've got TikTok.
It's on my Twitter pinned tweet. So it's had to a little.
We'll share it then. That's what we'll do. Share it. Get it out there. Get it viral. As viral as coronavirus.
Yes.
I think that's that. Don't catch that one, please. Let's not make that saying a trend. So the next two, I don't know if the next two are not connected to each other, but the questions are connected.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if they're getting at Anne Juliet.
Yeah.
Or if you've said something personally.
Oh gosh.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
You'll understand what I mean when I say the question. But Callum wants to know, if you were to be in a boy band, what would your name be? So your boy band name be?
Oh, I think I've made one before.
Is this maybe where it's from then? Have you talked about this publicly?
I did this thing on Instagram to try and just kill some time in lockdown. I tried to do this thing called Rap a Day. I'd learn a rap and just upload that onto my story on Instagram. And I think some people thought I was being serious, trying to make a career out of rap. I wasn't. It was just to try and get me through this lockdown. It was an hour a day I'd learn it. I think I MC Tranter. I can't remember it. So let's think of something else. The Tranternator. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
The Tranternator.
The Tranternator. So the other one, Lorraine, because obviously there is a boy band. That's where and Juliet as well. Yeah. So I thought maybe that's where it come from, but maybe it's I'm not sure. We don't like to assume the public's questions.
I tweet too much, so I can't remember all my tweets.
You don't tweet too much. You tweet just right. Lorraine wants to know, if you had been in a boy band from the past or present, so one that's actually real, who would you have liked? Which band would you have liked to be in and why?
So I'm going to pretend to think as if I don't know. One Direction.
There was no thought there. Right, why One Direction?
I think if I'd have written any of those One Direction songs, if you'd have written any of those songs, you'd be quite proud of yourself, because they are bangers. And I think Drag Me Down is a great tune, but also I'm a bit obsessed with Harry Styles now. I think his albums, both his two solo albums. Of what?
A wee man crush there?
Yeah, a little one. Yeah. We met him as well. He came to a rehearsal at Juliet, and all of us like, "Hello, Harry." Yeah, like it's normal. And he was in his Gucci flares and everything. But I think I would love to work with him, because I think he's a really cool person. So One Direction, but I'm a big Five fan. Do you remember Five?
I remember Five, yes. I'm old enough to remember Five.
Slam Dunk the Funk. And a bit of Take That. I like Take That as well. But are they a man
which
band
generation
now?
of Take That, though?
I'll play Robbie. So this generation, and I'll do the Robbie sections.
All right. So you want these this generation songs? Yeah,
but I'll be the Robbie.
The Robbie's not in this generation, though.
We'll find a place.
Okay.
Or I'll just stand on the side and let them do it, and I'll just take some glory as well.
Oh, I'm not getting into that combo. That's a dodgy. This is going up on YouTube, remember. I'll tag Robbie in this. Yeah, these are the words of Alex, not me.
Yeah.
One Direction's a good one, and I'm sure we'll be sitting here talking about a One Direction musical. Oh, I'm sure.
And it'll be me.
They'll have a musical.
It will be me.
You'll get a part.
I'm in it.
As the manager. As the manager. Simon Kill or something.
Yeah.
So Tom wants to know, what vocal warm-ups do you use?
Vocal warm-ups do I use? We have a vocal at work, so we do it's just kind of scales. Bella Signora, that one. We do normal, but I have one I was really lucky that work and Juliet let me work with a vocal coach called Fiona McDougall, and I have to, that's another pre-show ritual. I have to do her warm-up that I've recorded, and it's all just like lip trills mainly, and I just do the same scale with lip trills, ahs, ums, and it just releases all my tension, because especially when I play Romeo, it's a very high sing for me. It's not particularly not comfortable, but as in it's at the top of my range, and so it's a mental thing. I have to do her warm up, otherwise I probably wouldn't be able to play Romeo. I probably could, but I have to do it because I do it. It's fine. I can sing it now. So I do that, and it's about 10 minutes. I just have it there. So I normally do that before 6 o'clock, before all the people turn up in our dressing room. But it's not. It's all about focus training. It's what she taught me, that you don't want to just sing as high as you can, as loud as you can. You want to find the vocal warm-up that works for you. And it could just be singing the same thing for 10 minutes, but just stretch everything out, and it might be more beneficial. And it definitely is for me. It makes me, I've been trying to do it in lockdown as well, just try and keep my notes up there. That's kind of what I do.
Good question. Good answer. Sorry. Yeah. So Gabby asks, are you surprised that Juliet is as big as it is?
There's probably two answers to that. No, in a sense, I knew it was great. I knew we had something really special, and especially the workshop. We didn't know. By the end, we're like, this could be really good. And then when we rehearsed it for Manchester, we felt like it was a great show. But you still just didn't know. So I remember after the first preview in Manchester, we finished Act 1, and in case anyone hasn't seen it, I won't say what the line is.
Don't
the lights go
that.
down, and we all went off stage, and the crowd erupted, and we just relieved. It was more relief. Whew. We weren't foolish in thinking it was good, and so in that sense, I was surprised, because you just don't know, but it felt good. It felt like we had something special. I didn't expect it to blow up as much as it has, and people to love the show as much. Because
there's a massive following now,
and it's just growing all the time. Yeah. And I think because it touches people in so many different walks of life. I think the character of May is something we've not seen in musical theatre very often. I think the fact we've got Juliet, played by a black actress, Miriam Lee, and we do not speak about her race at all. Yeah. It's not mentioned, I think, is really incredible, and something to go, it's not a character specific on her race, it's just a character. And I think that's what's really powerful, and which is the same with May. We're not really talking about May's gender, May's sexual preference, we're just May is May. And I think that's really special and really current in 2019, 2020. And I think that's why it's touched people a lot and made people go, I belong here, because they're just an open society, you know? And I think that's why, I don't even remember the question.
Are you surprised that Juliet is as big as it is?
So
you've answered that, yeah.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. I'd like to say I'm not surprised after I saw it. What I am surprised is at how quickly it's grown. That's the only, because obviously this time last year you weren't even open in Manchester.
Yeah.
And now you're one of the biggest British homegrown musicals ever, I would say. I'm going to say that. I don't know if that's completely true, but I would say it's definitely one of the biggest British homegrown, because you certainly in the last 10 years.
Yeah, you don't see many British new musicals.
Jamie's the only other one that I can think of off the top of my head.
You've got Matilda, but these shows have been running for a long time, haven't they? So it's great for British theatre that people are still wanting to open new musicals in this country and not bring Broadway transfers. And there's some great Broadway transfers. I'm not saying that at all. Some of my favourite shows have been, but the fact that it's been created here, it's ours, you know?
Yeah. So you can then go to, you can transfer to Broadway rather than the other way.
And when it goes to Broadway, which I'm sure it would, why wouldn't it? I think
Broadway's calling for it.
Yeah, that's not I've let that go. I don't know. I just assume surely it would go, and I'll be able to watch it, go to Broadway and watch it and go, that's pretty cool. They've got one of the UK's shows, which is a great thing.
Would you go with it if you got asked?
If they asked me, of course I'd go. Of course. But I think Also at times you've got to let things go as well. You know, we've been on the show for a long time. Let someone else take it. But if someone asked me to go to Broadway, oh yeah, I'm going to New York. Have you been to New York? It's great.
I have, yes. I've been to New York. I love it. But nice to know that you're siding with the West End here. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Know
yeah.
your morals lie, yes. If somebody asks me to go to Broadway, I'm definitely going.
Yeah.
West End. West End, where's that?
I'm just over the West End, darling.
Yeah, I'm just too big for you now. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm Alex Tranter. Don't you know who I am?
He's been in one West End show and he thinks like that. Yeah.
That sounds like West End actors, yeah. So we're going to change the background for the next couple of questions.
Oh.
So we're in another kind of off West End production, but probably just as big and just as many followers in the same length of time, really, as and still to this day I hear them calling for a West End transfer, and it's been shut for just well over a year now. Well over nearly 2 years. 2018 it shut, didn't it?
Nearly 2 years.
Yeah, nearly 2 years it's been shut, and they're still calling for a West End transfer. So the first question comes from Matt, and he asks, "Do you miss your genius?"
Yes. First answer. It was a crazy show, you know. And I think once you got on board with that very quickly in the audience, you just sat back and went, "Oh, that's a bit wacky." Okay, but the songs were amazing. It had a heart. It's not about superheroes. I think that's what people were worried about. It's a superhero show. It's not. It's about these 3 young adults becoming confident in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure we've all been there at some point in our lives that we haven't felt confident. And I think that's why it was really special. And I met some amazing people. Some of my best friends that I have to this day are from that show. I went round to Aaron Renfrey's house, the choreographer of the show, just before lockdown, when it was the day that Eugenius put the full recording.
Yeah, because you said it for charity.
For charity, but acting for others. And we watched it, and it just brought back the most amazing memories. It just was fun. It was just, and people loved it. And because the audience was so close, again, there's something I must love an audience close to me, because those are my favourite shows. When I can feel the energy from the crowd is when I love it the most. I miss it a lot. The songs still go on in my head. I'll wake up and I'm still singing them.
See, that's why I don't say I sing them, because you don't want to hear me sing. But definitely. Again, went in at a bit like Juliet, didn't know anything about it, went in blind and loved it, and have watched it. Well, it's just getting taken down now. It's been announced today, actually.
I think we've decided that now's time to
start
get theatre back up.
Yeah, real theatre rather than
get it back
not
up.
Real theatre, because that was real theatre, but get us back into real theatre rather
than theatre, live theatre, and I think that's what we've decided. We've raised, I think, £15,000.
Yeah, near thereabouts anyway, at least. It's tremendous amount.
When we've not, that's just people donating, because you could watch it for free and not donate. So the fact people are wanting to donate is really great, and we've managed to do that just by cheering people up a little bit by putting it online. It's a nice thing.
Definitely. I donated the first time, without a doubt, but I'll be perfectly honest, I have watched it since then, and not donated every time I've watched it, but the very first time I did. But it's a feel-good musical, without a doubt.
I think so.
So Penny wants to know, what's your favourite song from the show?
From Eugenius?
Yes, from Eugenius.
My favourite is not the finale, Go Eugenius. It's in Act 1, where it's Ferris, Janie, and Eugene, and they're talking about he should believe in his comic book that he's writing, and they're calling him a genius. And I remember the first time we rehearsed for the show, we'd learnt all the ensemble vocals, so I knew Go Eugene, yes, go Eugene from the finale. And then we decided, then a week, 2 weeks into rehearsals, we thought we'd run from the start of the show through to a certain point, and there's bits that I hadn't seen, because I'm not in those moments. We're doing choreography calls while they're working on other things. And that song hit. And obviously I knew it from learning the vocals for the finale. I thought, this is a real musical here. You know, when you see those shows where it's a reprise and things like that, and I went, oh, this is really cool. And it's telling a different story to what we're telling in the finale. And it sounds so naive, but I sat there and went, we've got a real musical here. And I just think, yeah. And then when you get to see Dan Buckley, Laura Baldwin, Rob Houchin, or Liam Ford, who did it the first time around, just watching those three on stage was joyous anyway. And with that song, I just thought it was a lovely moment.
Watching Rob Houchin in anything's just a glorious moment.
I know.
Like, doesn't matter what he's at.
I know.
Lighting the piazza where he ends up in his underwear.
Oh, really? No, I didn't see that.
Oh, they're right at the interval, just before the interval, he ends up in his underwear. I'm like, that's a different story. So it's obviously Eugene Allen. He mentions about the Eugenius having a big following. So are the cast shocked that happened so quickly? Because it was for a run of a musical, it was very short.
Yeah.
It was a long, like for the other Palace, it was one of the longest, wasn't it?
I think it was one of the longest, but we ran for 3 months, I think, the first time.
Yeah, which is not that long for a musical.
To get a following, it's not long at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were shocked. We didn't think that it would get and would touch people. Again, the way there's people that came to see our show that had never seen a musical before, and then came to see it time and time again because they went, I feel like you're telling the story that I go through in my life. And I think there was something very, very special there. And I think what was great with the other Palace, they took a risk with a new show. I think they had Heathers coming very quickly after, which again, they didn't know. I assume they didn't know Heathers was going to be that phenomenon that it was. But I felt like the other Palace suddenly took over for a bit. It was the place to go to watch new shows. And I think that we were involved in that trend. So it was really cool. And then when we came back, I loved that theatre. It felt like coming home a bit. And to have done little tweaks, try and improve the show was nice. And I think the following is going to keep growing. And I think it could be a show that in 10 years' time gets a revival because there's little footage all over the place online. And people go, what happened to that show? The album's on Spotify. It's great. And then it could happen again. I think that could happen. And I hope it does. I think it deserves it.
I think it deserves a West End transfer. And I've said it from the minute I saw it. I thought it needs, because Heathers obviously got one pretty quick after.
Yeah.
So they went into the Theatre Royal, Haymarket. But I think it definitely needs a West End, whether that's just Trafalgar Studios. Doesn't matter what theatre it is, it needs a West End transfer without a doubt. Because the other Palace is great.
Yeah.
And it's actually just won, the other Palace has just won the London Theatre Awards.
Oh, great.
Best London Theatre Award for the West End Talks Awards.
Yeah,
so we do our own talks. And it won, it's completely public voted, so the other Palace won that. And Juliet won Best Musical.
Yeah.
Quite a few other ones. Jordan won Best Supporting Actor and a few others. I can't remember exactly which other ones, but off the top of my head. But no, so the other Palace definitely is the place to be, because you've had Eugenius, you've had, as you say, Heathers, you've now just had Be More Chill.
Be More Chill.
So it's just
looked great. I didn't get to see it, but yeah.
No, because you've got another job in the West End, you know.
Yeah,
yeah, you're busy.
But I think it is a really great venue that I saw. Did you ever see Miss Atomic Bomb? That was at the other Palace. It had. I think Catherine Tate was in it. Simon Lipkin was in it. And I saw it and I was like, this is a great venue that I want to work here. That was I went, no, I remember calling my agent saying, this is one of the theatres I want to work in. So I'm privileged to have done it twice, you know.
Yeah. And such a great musical.
Yeah.
So we'll change the picture. I like to change the picture every so often. And this is obviously a scene from it. You've got Rob and Laura and names escape me. Dan, thank you. But you're here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just behind Rob. So which number are you doing here? Because I'm terrible, it seems.
This is the finale. This is Go You Genius.
I thought that. I did
Just
think that.
just before the bows, I think. Yeah.
If I'd guessed, to be honest, I would have put the ending, because it doesn't wear that suit till closer to the end.
Definitely.
I guess that. So the Christina asks, do you have a favourite line from your Genius?
Favourite line? I try to remember it now. It's not a line, but when Scott Page was introduced as the character Theo, he came on and he did a monologue sort of on the second level, the middle section.
Here?
No, just below.
Or just
there? It's behind Rob. It's where like Emily Tierney is standing, just behind me.
Oh, yeah.
So there's 3 levels, yeah. And
because there wasn't there?
Yeah, and he was talking to the classroom, and he used to make me laugh every night on stage, rehearsals especially, because Scott is a hilarious person. Anything he does is funny, without trying. That's why he's such a beautiful person, because he's just a bundle of joy to be around. But that whole monologue where he's saying, you could be anything you want to be, you could be this, you could be that. It's all that sort of time where he's saying, and it just made me laugh. And luckily, I had my back to the audience, so I was sitting on a chair like this, so I could control it. Because if I was facing out front, I think I would have had a few notes from the director.
Facial expressions. And
yes, yeah.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to be laughing at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. So moving away from your Genius, I think, a bit. We'll change the background again.
Oh,
look at him. Look at him. Oh, what happened to the beard? Usually it's the other way around in lockdown, but you've saved yours off.
No, we had a discussion that at work that they preferred when I played Romeo to be clean shaven, and so that would have taken too long to grow back every time I went back to the ensemble. So we just decided that it was time to say goodbye and retire it. But I've got my memory there in that photo.
You do. You do. So, no, definitely. So Sam wants to know, do you have a favourite line in And Juliet?
I don't want to swear. Can I swear on this? No. Okay,
No,
I won't.
Just bleep.
Yeah. So, one, the nurse, when the end of her song, "You're Perfect," that's bleeping perfect.
Yes.
Is
Pink song.
Yeah, the Pink song. That I think is beautiful, because it really kind of gets you, and especially when Mel LaBarry sings it and says it. Because does she sing it? Probably, but sometimes she just says it because she just tells Juliet that she is bleeping perfect, and you feel it. You feel the love from that character. So I think that is one of my favourites. What else? I love to say when I get to play Romeo, I like to say I've always been more of a lover than a fighter. I also have no upper body strength. That's probably one of my favourite lines as well, because I like to think that I go to the gym and people can tell. So I think the line doesn't really work for me. I think that also works for Jordan as well. So I think that's quite a funny line.
No, I think he's both don't. He's look like he's have upper body strength.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you don't. Yes. David wants to know if you had to be in another musical currently on at the West End, which would you be and why? So not as a character, just the musical.
I love Hamilton. I think Hamilton is, people love Wicked, they love Cats, like that. It's those sort of shows where they went, this is why I love theatre. I think Hamilton really made me go, I just want to be in that show so much. I'd love to be in that. What else is on in the West End right now? That's probably
technically nothing, but
yeah.
No.
That probably is the show that I would love to be in. I would play any role to be in it. I think it's an incredible piece. I think I've been lucky enough to meet Lin-Manuel Miranda when he came to watch our show, and Juliet. And then I was in a sort of a webinar with the choreographer, Andy Blackenbuehler, and he blows my mind. The way he thinks about choreography is just, is inspiring. So I'd love to be able to work on one of his pieces.
Yeah. I'll be very honest, I haven't seen Hamilton. I've listened to the soundtrack, but I haven't. It's still kind of expensive for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Unless you're lucky enough to win the lottery.
Yeah.
Not the actual lottery, the Hamilton lottery.
Yes,
that they do. It's not that expensive. But I will definitely have seen it come the 3rd of July.
That is going on to
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, yeah. Yeah,
yes.
I'm going to watch that,
so
I think.
I will definitely have watched it by then. And then, as soon as I can, get in to see it in the Victoria Palace, definitely. So Harry says, I think you've kind of answered this, but we'll ask it for Harry anyway. You have answered it, no kind of. Would you go to Broadway or would you stay at West End?
No, like I said, I'd love to go to Broadway. I think a lot of people would. If you like New York, and I've been twice, I'd love to. It's not even say I've been on Broadway, just I'd love to work in New York for a bit and stay in New York. But that doesn't mean I am constantly grateful that I work in the West End. That doesn't pass me by. I'm going to try and get this light off my face. There we go. It doesn't pass me by that I go, oh no, that's every day I'm lucky to work there. And it was my dream as a child. So, and I get to do it now. How lucky am I? You know.
So that's great. So yeah, definitely, you're definitely lucky getting to work on any stage, but yeah, especially the West End. There's something kind of special. I would say there's something slightly. I've been to Broadway, so I can speak on both behalves. And there's nothing wrong with Broadway, but I think there's more specialness with the West End because you're more personable. Broadway, it feels to me more like a factory, and I don't mean that nastily, but like obviously with stage drawing and the cast become not friends, but being friendly with the audiences and things that are better here. And I'm not saying anything against the people that are on stage in the West End Broadway, but you just don't get the chances as often in the West End in Broadway.
Yeah, I don't.
And
really
the theatres are nice, that are smaller in the West End, which is nice.
I think also it's just being in London, isn't it? It's something about the capital in this country that feels really special. And when you walk down, Shaftesbury Avenue, you get to see all those theatres. It's just something really. It gets me really excited. And the thought now that when the shows are back up and running, that's going to be such an incredible moment.
First night, I've said it in numerous chats, so people that watch all my chats will be sick of me hearing that. But the first night that the theatre opens, I will definitely be there. Yeah. I don't care which theatre, I will be in a theatre, because the atmosphere, audience-wise, but cast-wise, is going to be phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. When the first night, it's going to be like every theatre is going to have a press night. It's going to be like that kind of feeling. It's going to be like a feeling of press night. It's going to be, we're opening again. It's because Broadway, West End, it's never been shot like this.
I know.
It's never been shot like this in its history. Even during the war,
I know.
It was still open. It was still running. Okay, running smaller productions and stuff, but it still was running. So
to be in London, I think if you're confident enough to go to theatre with COVID being around, and you want to go to theatre, and I hope you do, and you can afford a ticket, get to a theatre for that
night,
because it's just going to be special, I think.
Without a doubt. There's a few that I want to see on opening night. But to be honest, I would take a ticket anyway. Literally. Anyway. Delilah wants to know, would you post more singing videos on social?
Was that, I don't know whether that was a request saying,
please
can you, or...
It was a bit of a request.
Yeah.
/ ask.
Well, singing for me has been the most growth I've had on And Juliet. that I felt like that I have worked hard on it. I'd never really sung on my own on stage until I played Romeo, and it's probably my biggest fear on stage, which is silly because I'll sing the ensemble happily, and I know my harmonies, and I'll sing out. But there's just something about being on my own, so I'm learning to feel more confident with it. I have actually recorded some videos of me singing. It's now just to bring myself to upload it and just go, oh, just put it up there, because it's, you know, it won't be perfect because there's a lot more I should do on my voice and work on it, but just go, it doesn't matter, just put it on my Instagram. So maybe. So
you'll have the support, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You'd have a lot more support than criticism, without a doubt. And now it's time to do it because everybody's watching social. So
I thought you meant now's the time to do it. Sing now.
Yeah. All right, no.
I need to start my drink out.
All right, no. Now, as in just now in general, is the time to do it. So, Jen, obviously, you touched on there that you have played Romeo a few times. You are first cover to Jordan Luke Cage. But Jenna wants to know, what's your favourite part of playing Romeo?
I love to do One More Try, the duet with Juliet. I love the scene. I love the song. It's everything about it. I think it feels like everything just stands still because we have so much going on in that show. Tech-wise, lighting, sound, and that moment I feel that everything just kind of stops a little bit and you just zoom in on two people trying to make something of their life, in a sense, to go, what am I doing? I think it's quite a beautiful moment. And when I got to do it, have I done it with Grace? I would have done it in rehearsal, but I think I have played Romeo with Grace as Juliet as well as Miriam, of course. And then I've done a concert version with Danielle, our second cover. And you get to play that scene differently every time because everyone has their different takes on their own characters. And I think that's the moment where you feel really, I think the audience are on the edge of their seats to go, are they going to kiss? Are they not going to kiss? What's going to happen? I like that. I think it's a beautiful moment.
Yeah. You mentioned that the concert version there, that was because of illnesses, wasn't it? You did it was a strange one, wasn't it?
We got hit hard by illnesses that I thought, a couple of weeks before, I thought I had mumps. Everyone's talking about COVID, and I thought I had mumps. But it turned, I got checked, it wasn't mumps, but my face was out here. So we had people off for that, people self-isolating, because that was the start of when it was really kind of kicking off with COVID, and people going, if you have any signs, you should isolate. So we started to do that. And so it just got to a point where we just didn't have enough cast to do a full show. And I think it was we didn't have a May in the building, anyone to play May, the character. So the show can't happen in its normal sense. So we reworked. So we had to cancel a Thursday night. And on the Friday, we worked on a concert version where we and we explained it. The character of May is now not in our show today because we can't. So we reworked some things, and everyone was on stage in their sort of first costume. The players were sat on stage, and the characters came on stage when it was their first entrance, then sat on stage, and we had handheld mics. And that first one was really special. The Friday night, because it was really organic. We were going, people got up and started, like the cast got up and started to dance at one point. That was never the plan. It was just, we felt like, no, we're going to dance here. And that was really cool. But then the Saturday night, which turned out to be our final performance, where we announced we're doing a concert version. So if you want to buy tickets knowing it's a concert version, you can. If you'd bought tickets before, you can ask for a refund or please watch it and you'll get to reschedule. So it was people going, we still get a show no matter what. And people going, I'm making my way to that concert version to watch it. And it was explosive. It was, I'd never experienced it. That felt like a press night, you know, that feeling. If you ever sat in the audience or been on stage or worked on a show that's had a press night where it's explosive, it was like that. And it turned out to be our final performance before everything closed down, and something a bit special that we entered on that sort of show as well.
Yeah, it was good. I never saw it. I was working the Friday night, and I had a show booked Saturday already. Unfortunately, or I would have definitely have run away desperately, without a doubt. But hey ho. So Richard wants to ask, what is your favourite character in Anne Juliet apart from Romeo, or your character in the ensemble?
Henry.
But not the easy answers, basically.
Yes, yeah.
Again, it's character, not who plays them.
Yes, yeah. I think I love the nurse. I'm going to say Lance. I think Lance, played by David Badella, but the character Lance, I think, is hilarious.
Yeah.
I think and that Teenage Dream Break Free mashup. Is it Teenage Dream? Yeah, it is Teenage Dream.
Yeah, it's Teenage Dream.
I suddenly just panicked. I don't know the show. It's been that long. I think it's so funny. And that first time we watched it in rehearsals, everyone just sat at the front to see this piece because it's such a hilarious moment. So I think Lance is one of my favourite characters, and I'd love to play him at some point.
You never know what will happen. We never thought there'd be a concert version, yeah, exactly. So you never know. You never know what will happen when lockdown's over. Maybe if you speak to David, he might do a role reversal with you for a night. So our last fan question, you'll be glad to know. There's a lot of stories and a lot of things you can take away from Anne Juliet. I think one of the biggest is female empowerment.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's there's not many musicals that have a female as lead so predominantly as Juliet.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, it's usually a male or a male and female or whatever.
Yeah.
So Michaela wants to know is what is it like to be in a very very female empowerment musical?
I'm very proud to say that I'm a feminist, so it doesn't feel I'm in a female empowerment show in a sense that it's slightly odd. It feels we're very proud to do that. I think the two leading roles, I don't like using those sort of phrases because I think it's an ensemble show, but in the sense we have leading roles, is Juliet and then Anne Hathaway. And that's incredible to have two female characters leading the show. And I think I have two sisters and I know they watch it and I feel empowered. You see people feel empowered. I think men can feel empowered by watching it. And we're going into that world now where I think everyone's going, no, you want to be a feminist, guys, because it's the right thing to be. Because feminism means equality. And I think everyone's going, that's the show. That's what we're saying. That it's so it feels normal, but also it's a great thing to be involved in, and I'm very proud to be in something that's telling a story like that in such a joyous way.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Great answer, and that brings us to the end of the fans' questions. You can relax now. We do have the not so quick fire round.
Yeah.
Coming up. Now you chose not to get these in advance. I don't know what you're going to ask. So you have no idea what's coming. So it's just 4 questions that we ask every day, and then a small activity at the end.
Yeah.
So all that's left is the first question, in this round is, what is your dream role? So that is regardless of race or age, but still male.
Can I say 2?
You can say 2 if you've got 2, yes.
So Aaron Burr in Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love the room where it happens. I loved it when I saw it. I loved it when I listened to the soundtrack. I think it's incredible character. Then actually I was listening to it today. I'd love to play Collins in Rent. When Collins sings "I'll Cover You" at the funeral, I'd love to do that. I think it's one of my favourite theatre moments. So those 2 roles, I'd love to have the chance to do.
There you go. Rent might come back eventually. You never know.
You never know.
It does. These sort of musicals do loops every so often, so it will come back eventually.
Exactly.
The next question is, what is your dream gender bend role? So that is a character that's specifically played by a female. I don't know where my tongue went with that question.
My favourite.
Oh, your dream role. So if you were to play a female, yes. If you were to play a female.
And I can't say Juliet, can I? That's
that's kind of easy. That's a kind of easy answer, yeah.
What would I like to do? I mean, I like Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Or I'd like to be in Dreamgirls and play one of the
Have you enough
three.
sass to be in Dreamgirls?
Yeah, I'd like to be one. There's three in sort of the group.
Yeah, there's three. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like. It doesn't matter which one.
Just one of the Dreamgirls.
Yeah. One of those. I'll do that.
The Beyonce one.
That'll be the video that I put onto Instagram of me singing. That we
That's
said.
Right, you've signed up to that now. That's in the contract. You must do that, Alex. What is your favourite musical theatre song? Now, that doesn't have to be one you've performed. It can be any song you want.
I love. Do you remember From Here to Eternity?
Yeah, I know that.
I love Fight the Fight from that, but that's one that I sing like for auditions. So
that's fine. No, that's.
One. Then what else do I like? Let's go with that. From Here to
that's a good song.
And if you can buy a DVD of it, everyone, and do, because it is so good, and it should be revived. Because I'd love.
No, that was that. Yeah, definitely a good musical. I've seen it. I don't think I've seen it live. No, definitely haven't seen it live. But I've seen the recording of it.
Yeah.
Next one, again, doesn't have to be shows you're in. It can be. It doesn't have to be shows you're in. What is your top 5 shows?
Top 5 shows. Well, I have to say Hamilton. Yeah. I can't order. I can maybe order it once I've listed them. Hamilton.
You don't have to order them. Just
okay.
No, you don't have to order them.
I saw Moulin Rouge on Broadway, and it's one of my favourite movie musicals. I loved it. I thought it was incredible. I'm a massive Grease fan, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I think it's one of the greatest musicals ever written. I'd love to be a T-Bird. So Grease.
You could be at Danny. Never mind a T-Bird. Just go for the top.
No, I kind of think Kenickie, because on the stage version, Kenickie sings Grease Lightning, and that's the one you want to sing.
Right. Okay, I can understand that.
I've worked it out. Don't worry. I've got the career plan.
Right.
Grease. Then I love 42nd Street.
Yeah, classic.
I loved it at Drury Lane. It was at Drury Lane? It was, wasn't
it? Yeah, you're right.
I loved it. I
love how you're doubting yourself.
No.
You're right.
It's me pretending. I don't really know theatre. It's at the Drury Lane, right? I opened on this date and this date. And so that, and then my final favourite show, let's say Footloose, because that made me want to do it.
That was the one you watched.
Incredible. Yeah.
I never saw that version, but I have seen saw the recent tour version.
Was that the Actor Muso one? Was it an Actor Muso one? I don't know.
I don't know. I
do like Footloose.
So the recent tour one. We've actually got the guy who played the lead coming in to do a talk.
Oh, great.
And the recent tour one. So our last thing's an activity.
Yes.
Have you heard of the Ice Bucket Challenge?
Yes.
Yes, good. We're not going to ask you to pour ice over yourself. Don't panic.
Okay.
But the whole point in that was obviously to raise money for charity, and you did it, and then you had to nominate somebody.
Yes.
Well, it's the West End Talks nomination.
Okay.
So all we ask you to do is you nominate a minimum of one, but you can nominate as many as you want, people. And the challenge is to get them in for a talk, to get them in to do a talk.
Yeah.
So you've been through the pain, so it's now time to inflict pain on somebody else. And that can be anyone from theatre, film, or TV, preferably somebody with a bit of, you have, not control, that's not the right word, but you're able to text or phone or to coax them in. Yeah, you're friends with. So don't name Aaron Trevette as much as we would love Aaron Trevette.
Yeah.
If you don't know him personally, then there's no point in naming him.
Well, let me just call him for you.
That's fine, yeah. So it can be anyone to tell you on as many as you want, but then once you've named them on here, go onto Twitter as soon as we're finished tonight and just put onto Twitter, just down my talk with West End Talks, now it's your turn.
Yeah. Do you want me
So
to say it now? Do I say it now?
Say it now.
Scott Page. You want to get Scott Page on here because you will laugh for as long as you do the questions. It'll be the best evening of your life.
Good.
And I stand by that. You can quote me on that.
Right. I've enjoyed tonight. I've got to say, I have enjoyed tonight.
Thank you. Me too.
That's why I don't take a penny for this. Like, I don't want a penny. I don't want anything for it. But this is just the best bit for me. Like getting to talk to you guys and like learning a lot about yous and about yous rather than well, for example, watching you as Romeo. Or I'm learning about Alex rather than the characters you've played, which is all the payment I need. But that's unfortunately that's us at the end.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for joining us. All that's left for you guys at home to remember is me and Alex are not just here for fun. As much as we did have fun, well, I'd like to hope you had fun anyway. We're not just here for fun.
I realised I just nodded and went, no, I did.
That's good. And the whole point, obviously, we're here is to try and raise much needed funds for acting for others. It's much needed the whole year round, not just at the moment, but more so at the moment with theatres, obviously, with lights out in theatres or the theatres in darkness. So to help the guys both on and off stage and in film and TV as well. So please donate anything you can. As I've said before, I have stole Tesco's line here, but every little helps. The link will be in the bio below, so please, anything you can donate will be much appreciated. And just to join us next time when we'll have Luke Latchman, who was recently in the cast of Jamie. He was the understudy for Jamie himself.
Nice.
So we'll learn about him and put your questions to him. But Alex, once again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It's been an absolute privilege getting to know you and getting chatting to you. So, but guys, take care. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Sing a song for the broken hearted.